Hi everyone, welcome to another Procreate tutorial. This is the drawing that we will be completing in today's video, this fun candy shop, perfect for Halloween season, getting ready for trick-or-treaters. So if you are new here, I mainly post Procreate tutorials, so if that is something you are interested in, go ahead and subscribe. I also offer extra tutorials over on Patreon, so if you want to join us over there, go ahead and check that out. It's linked in the description below. And before we get started, the only thing that you will need to do is download the color palette and the custom polka dot brush that we will be using in today's drawing. So those are both linked in the description below. They're totally free to download. For the color palette, just double tap the file that downloads on your iPad and it will automatically pop into Procreate so that you can use the same colors as you follow along with the video today. And for the custom brush, you just need to go into any Procreate drawing, open up your brush library, pick where you want to save it. So any of these folders, if you have like a custom folder or a patterns folder or something, go ahead and find that folder, click the plus button in the top right, and then click import and find the brush file where you downloaded it on your iPad to import it. I will also post the canvas dimensions, color profile, and layers needed on the screen and in the description below so that you can use those to set up your canvas. So take a minute to get everything ready and then come back and we will get started. Okay, here is the color palette that we'll be working with today, just 6 colors, 2 on each row. So let's just go ahead and get started. The first thing that we are going to do is set our background color. To do so, we will just go to our layer menu, click on this background color layer to open up our color selector and select the first color on the first row of the color palette to set it to this gray color. Okay, next up, we will go ahead and just make the ground that our candy shop will sit on. So we will just make sure we're on layer 1 here. Grab our second color on the top row of the color palette. Grab our selection tool, set it to rectangle, and turn on color fill. And then we will just kind of, up and to the right of this left corner, I will just start and make a good, long, kind of skinny rectangle like so. Let it go to fill it in. And then let's grab our arrow tool. On either uniform or freeform, you can go ahead and resize it if you need to. I'll set it to freeform and then I can make it like a little taller, a little wider. Just kind of whatever you would like to do. It just needs to be a good base. And then most importantly, we want to snap it to the center of our canvas. So to do that, we'll just make sure snapping is turned on in the bottom left corner and then move it around left to right until you hit this vertical yellow line that shows that we're directly in the center of the canvas. Set it kind of where you want, just a little ways from the bottom here, like so. And then we will move on. So we'll do the polka dots later once we have everything else set up so we can do our polka dots down here and our polka dots on our main part of our building. But we'll just continue on and create the building itself now. So to do so, we'll go to our layer menu, add a new layer, drag our new layer below our white rectangle, grab our yellow color, the first one on the second row, grab our selection tool with rectangle and color fill turned on still, and I'm just going to start like a little bit in from the left side of our white rectangle, start kind of like right underneath it so that it cuts it off. And I will just draw a nice good size rectangle up and to the right, about like so. So this will be our main building, so we'll need a door and 2 windows, so make sure it's big enough for that, but leave plenty of room at the top for our sign and our little roof. Go ahead and let that go to fill it in. Grab your arrow tool again, you can resize it if you need to, and then again, most importantly, snap it in the center from left to right on our vertical yellow line there. And again, just make sure it's kind of covered by our white rectangle at the bottom so that it cuts it off there. Okay, next we will make the inside where our door sits. So it's going to be a little bit of a darker yellow on the middle here. So to create that, we'll go to our layer menu, add a new layer right above this layer. Click on it and set it to a clipping mask. Grab our next yellow color, the second one on the second row, slightly darker than the one that we just used. Selection tool again, rectangle and color fill turned on, and we will just start up at the top here outside of my shape. I'm going to go in about 1/3 on my big building here, start outside of it and draw to cover like a good middle portion. like so. It doesn't have to be perfectly centered. We can move it around here in a second. So I'm going to set it a little skinnier like this, even though that leaves me more room on the right side. Let that go to fill it in. And then again, grab our arrow tool. You can resize it if you need to, but most importantly, let's center it on our center yellow line. We just want a little bit of room inside here for a door, but then we also want room for our windows on the sides. So I think I need to widen it a little bit, recenter it, kind of see how that looks. I might widen it a little bit more and recenter it. And then I might go back and just widen my candy store itself just the teeniest bit more. So back on my main yellow rectangle layer, arrow tool on freeform, I'm just going to widen it on one side and recenter it like so. And I think that is a good amount of room for a door on the inside and a window on each side as well. So set those up how you would like to. And we're just going to continue on and make the rest of our roof now. So the piece with the sign on it and then the little rooftop behind that. And then we will add in all of our details. So to do so, let's just go ahead. We're going to make the big orange rectangle on the top. So on our layer menu, add a new layer. Don't set it to a clipping mask or anything. Grab our orange color, the first one on the last row. Selection tool again, rectangle and color fill turned on, and we'll just make it a little bit wider than our yellow building here. So I'm just going to start on the outside left corner here, just slightly below the top of my shape so that I cover that up. And then again, yeah, nice, good kind of thick rectangle going off the right side as well. Let that go to fill it in. Arrow tool, again, resize it, and most importantly, center it at the top here. You can move it up and down as much as you need to. Obviously, don't leave a gap there, but if you need to move it down a little further, go ahead and do so. We just need a little bit of room on the top here for our black roof and then our piece of candy corn as well. So I just make this even like a teeny bit skinnier from top to bottom, like so. Okay, next up, the black roof part. So to do that, we will go to our layer menu. We will add a new layer. We will drag our new layer below our orange rectangle layer. It will probably snap to a clipping mask automatically. We don't want that. So click on it and turn off clipping mask. For the black rooftop, it's going to have angled sides on it. So we are going to turn on symmetry for this. So let's go to our gear icon. Under canvas, click to turn on the drawing guide. Click edit drawing guide. Set it to symmetry, and you should see a vertical line on your canvas now. If you do not, you might need to select vertical under the options here, and then go ahead and click done. Okay, then let's go back to our layer menu, and this layer that we're on now should say assisted. If it doesn't, go ahead and click on it and turn on drawing assist. And then let's grab our black color, blackish color, it's a dark gray, but our dark gray color, the second one on the last row. And we are going to use the monoline brush under the calligraphy tab for this. So find that. Let's set the size to like 10%, pretty small, so we can get a nice sharp edge. And I'm just going to zoom in a little bit here, and then starting on the right side of my orange rectangle here at the top, I'm going to go in a little ways, like further than the edge of my yellow building is, so maybe right about here, start there. Draw a nice just kind of angle here, angle up and to the left. Hold it down until it turns perfectly straight, and then you can kind of adjust it. Just kind of set it wherever you would like, a nice just little height like this, nothing too crazy. You can click edit line after you let it go if you need to adjust it further, but otherwise just from the top of this point here, we're going to draw a horizontal line to the center, hold it down until it turns perfectly straight, and then touch your finger on the screen to make it perfectly horizontal. Once you set that, just click the edit line button if you need to move it around at all. Don't touch the blue buttons and adjust the angle because we want it to be perfectly horizontal, but if you touch outside of it, you can move it around. So just move it around until it's like lined up nicely at the top of our other line here to make a nice little corner there. Then let's grab our pen again, and we are just going to connect across the bottom. So kind of whatever we can see here, hold it down, touch your finger to the screen, make sure it overlaps in the center. Nothing really needs to be adjusted there, just as long as it's connecting everything so that we can fill this in. Okay, and then as always, if you need to make any adjustments to the size or placement, you can grab your arrow tool on freeform or uniform, move it around, stretch it out a little bit, and make sure to recenter it. Again, just want a little bit of this sticking up. I made mine just a little bit wider is all. And yeah, I think there is good. We just need a little room for a piece of candy corn on the top. There's plenty of room there, it looks like. Okay, so that's it for like our main shapes. We'll make the sign here in a second when we start adding everything else. But let's just go ahead and start adding all of our other details. So let's start with the door. So on our layer menu, right above this clipping mask, let's add a new layer. And this is where we will start our door. So our door is going to be orange with white trim and a black window. So we'll first make a white rectangle for the outside, make an orange rectangle inside that a little bit to create like the trim effect, and then we'll add the window and all the other little details. So let's go ahead and on this new layer, grab our white color, the second color on the top row, grab our selection tool again with rectangle and color fill still turned on. And I'm just going to start kind of towards the bottom here. So we're still underneath this white like ground layer. So that'll kind of cut us off. So that's good. So just start underneath that in from the edge of our dark yellow rectangle here and draw a nice good vertical rectangle. Leave a good amount of room at the top for a piece of candy. But otherwise, go ahead and let that go. Grab your arrow tool, resize it if you need to, and go ahead and center it on our center yellow line. Let's do that again for our orange door now. So on our layer menu, add another new layer. Grab our orange color now, the first color on the last row of the color palette. Selection tool again, rectangle and color fill turned on, and we will kind of just start again, do the same exact thing, just inside a little bit. Let that go to fill it in. Grab your arrow tool and you can resize it or move it around. We just kind of want to make sure the trim looks pretty even all the way around. But a nice good thick trim. Again, center it on our yellow line if it isn't already. Next up is the window. So we'll add another new layer on our layer menu. Grab the black color, the second one on the bottom row. Selection tool again, and we will just again go inside on our orange now at the top. Start there and make a good just kind of squarish window. It can be like a little bit longer from top to bottom. And then again, arrow tool, resize it if you'd like to. Otherwise, just center it on your center line. Beautiful. Okay. Now we'll make the sign inside the window. So to save, we'll save some layers as we go by snapping things together. We're not quite ready to yet, but once the door is like complete, we'll just snap the entire door together. So we just need to add the sign to the window and the doorknob. So let's first add the sign. So let's add a new layer on the layer menu. Grab our white color, the second one on the top row. Selection tool. And in the center of the window here, we're just going to make a very small rectangle like so. Arrow tool, center it again. And just kind of, I'm going to have it just kind of be roughly in the center of the square here. Okay, get it right on our center line. And then we're going to add a circle on both sides of it, kind of cut off to just make a little, like, you know, make the sign a little fancier. So on our layer menu, click on this layer that we're on right now and turn on Drawing Assist. Grab our pen tool on the monoline brush again, still on our white color. And I'm just going to zoom in and on the right side here, make a perfect circle. Hold it down until it turns perfectly smooth and then touch your finger to the screen to make it a perfect circle. Then click the circle button at the top so we can move it around. So I'm just going to move it in quite a bit. So we just see maybe like a third of that circle showing on the edge on each side. And then I kind of just eyeball it from top to bottom so it's centered there. Grab my pen tool and we'll just fill that in. So now this is our sign. We are going to write the word boo on it. So let's go to our layer menu, add a new layer. Grab our black color again, the second one on the bottom row. And to write our word, we can still use the monoline brush. Let's just drop the size a little bit to like 5%. And then I'm just going to zoom in here and write on the sign, boo with an exclamation point. Nothing too crazy. This is the calligraphy brush, so it should be pretty smooth when you're writing, but if you need something else, you can use any of the other calligraphy brushes, or I also like to use the studio pen sometimes under the inking category. if you're having trouble writing. So try out a few different brushes if you need to, but this one worked well for me because it's just very simple. It'll be far away, so it doesn't have to be too crazy. Okay, then we just need like the little hanging pieces for our sign. So we'll just go back to our sign layer with drawing assist turned on here. We'll grab our white color again, the second one on the top row, and we'll stay on our monoline brush with the size turned down to 5%. So I'm just going to start right at the top here. Symmetry is still turned on. I'm going to draw a line up and to the right, hold it down until it turns perfectly straight, extend it a little bit past the doorway here, like so. Okay, then on our layer menu, I am just going to click on this layer with our sign on it and turn it to a clipping mask, so it will clip to the black piece of our door there, so that it is hanging there nicely. Okay, and then the last thing that we need is just the doorknob. So the doorknob is going to be in the lighter yellow color, so let's just add another layer right above the one we were just on. Grab our first yellow color on the second row, and same monoline brush, I'll just turn it up to 10% again, and just down here right underneath the right corner of our window, we'll just make a good nice circle. Hold it down, touch your finger to the screen to make it a perfect circle. Fill it in. Go ahead and adjust it if you need to. With your arrow tool, you can resize it on uniform so that we keep our perfect circle, and then move it around if you need to. And then that completes our door. So that being said, we can go to our layer menu. We can snap all of our door layers together. So our white rectangle, orange rectangle, black, window, sign, doorknob, boo. All of those we can snap to be on one layer, like so. And then once you grab it, you can move it around all as one. But let's just leave it, everything centered. Okay, now we'll add the piece of candy at the top. So on our layer menu, let's just add a new layer right above this. Let's grab our white color again, the second one on the top row. Same monoline brush at 10%, and we'll just first make a perfect circle up here. Hold it down, touch your finger to the screen, set it to a good nice size like so. Fill it in. Arrow tool, let's center it on our center yellow line there. Okay, and now we want to make the little swirls on it. So let's go to our layer menu, add a new layer right above our circle layer, click on it and set it to a clipping mask. Okay, then we'll grab our orange color, the first one on this last row, and same brush, the monoline brush at 10%. And we are first going to create a dot that's going to be the center of our like swirls. So let's just make a dot kind of right on the symmetry line, roughly in the center of our circle. Grab our arrow tool, it will select just the dot, and then we should be able to move it around and you should be able to center it on your circle. So it'll be your vertical yellow line, and then you should see a blue horizontal line pop up when you're exactly in the center of the circle. So let's just set it there. Hopefully that works for you. If not, just eyeball it. You can always center it on your vertical line and then just kind of eyeball it from top to bottom. But that's just kind of our starting point. So same layer, we will just continue on and make our swirls. So I'm going to start on my center point. I'm going to make a kind of curved line going up and to the right. Hold it down until it turns perfectly smooth. You can adjust it if you need to by clicking this edit arc button, but that looks pretty good. Nice smooth circle, or nice smooth curve. Start at the same point. I'm going to go to the right a little bit further this time on the edge so it kind of gets wider there. I held it down again, adjust it again if you need to. Then I'm just going to fill it in with my brush. Okay, then I'm just going to kind of turn my canvas and just start again. So same point, make another curved line going to the edge. Maybe like if this was like 1 o'clock, maybe we'll do like 3 o'clock-ish. So something kind of like that. Again, wider at the edge. Fill it in. Okay, now we'll do like 5 o'clock. So another curved line. Another curved line. We're just probably going to get 6 all the way around is my guess. So then I'll turn it again. This is like 7 o'clock, I would say. There's quite a big gap at the bottom. And then I need to fit 2 more, so I might redo that one. Start again. Okay. And then we'll do one more here to round it out. Okay, so then that is our piece of candy. So it's not perfect, but that's okay. It's nice and just natural. I think it looks great. Okay, so then now we're just going to make the ends of it like as if it were in a wrapper. So to do so, we'll go to our layer menu, add a new layer, drag our new layer below our white circle layer, click on it and turn on drawing assist so we can use symmetry again. Grab our black color, the second one on the bottom row, and we are just going to start kind of right on the edge here, kind of in the middle from top to bottom, right on the edge. Draw up and to the right, hold that down until it turns into a perfectly straight line. Start at that same point and draw down and to the right until it turns into a perfectly straight line. Edit either of the lines as you go if you need to, and then we're just going to connect these from the top to bottom with a curved line going in like so. Hold that down until it turns perfectly smooth and then edit it if you need to. And then let's go ahead and just fill those in. If they don't fill in, you might just need to like connect them at the base here. They might not be connected all the way. So then go ahead and refill them. Okay, and then I don't want them to be so like horizontal. We want them to be at a slight angle. So just with our arrow tool, we will just go ahead and use this green button at the top to rotate it to the left a little bit so it's at a good angle. Okay, so then that is it for our whole door area. So the door and the candy on top. So next up will be our windows. So we'll draw the base of the window, and then the right window will have spider webs and the left window will have a ghost. So we'll just draw the base of the window first. It'll be similar to our door. We'll just do a bunch of different rectangles. Let's go ahead and go to our layer menu. We can snap our 3 candy layers together now. So the edge, the circle, and the orange swirls. Snap them to one layer. Good to go. Add a new layer. Grab our white color first, the second one on the top row. Selection tool again with rectangle and color fill turned on. And on this right side here, I'm just going to make a nice good window from top to bottom, leaving just a little bit of room on the top, bottom, and sides, like so. Go ahead and grab your arrow tool if you need to resize it at all. I might make it a little wider and a little taller, and then I'm just going to kind of eyeball center it on the right side here, like so. So there's like even space on the top and bottom, even space left and right. They don't all have to be even with each other. My sides are skinnier, and there's a little more room on the top and bottom, but that is okay. Okay, then we'll go to our layer menu, add another new layer. Grab our orange color now, the first one on the last row. Selection tool, and we'll just go inside and draw another rectangle, leaving a good white edge. Let that go to fill it in, and then arrow tool, and we can center it with our previous shape with snapping turned on. You should see blue lines that center them together, but feel free to adjust the size of it as well. So, and then recenter it, and that will give you a nice white edge, however thick or skinny you want your white edges to be. I'll leave mine about there. Okay, and then finally a black rectangle inside. So another layer on our layer menu. Grab our black color, the second one on the bottom row. Selection tool again, and do another inner rectangle. Arrow tool, let's go ahead and change the size a little bit and recenter them, like so. Next up, we'll make the panes of our window, so we'll have 1 vertical, 2 horizontal. So let's go to our layer menu, add another new layer. Click on this layer and set it to a clipping mask. So we're clipping to our black rectangle. Grab our orange color again, and the first one on the last row of the color palette. Same monoline brush, but let's increase the size to like 50%, and this will be the size of our window panes. Okay, so let's just go ahead and make a line through the center. So draw a nice good line, hold it down until it turns perfectly straight, and then touch your finger on the screen to make it perfectly vertical. Kind of eyeball it and see if it lands roughly in the center. But we can also grab our arrow tool and just move it around a little until you get a blue line there that should center you with our black rectangle. Okay, and then our next two lines we're not going to be able to center because they're going to be on the same layer. So we're just going to eyeball them to cut this into thirds. So let's just go down about a third, draw a nice horizontal line, hold it down, touch your finger on the screen to make it perfectly horizontal, and then click the line button at the top. If you need to move it, don't adjust either of the sides, but just move it around, but only if you need to. And then we'll just kind of eyeball the last third, hold that down, touch your finger to the screen. And so I feel like mine on the bottom is a little smaller than my one on the top. With my line button selected, I might just move it up a little and make this like middle one a little skinnier. I think that looks pretty even. So I'm going to leave that there, but feel free to redraw your horizontal lines if you need to. Okay, so now we are going to make a duplicate for the other side. So we aren't going to snap them together yet because we need to draw our spiderweb and our ghost still, and they need to be sandwiched in between these two layers. But we can group them together to make a copy for the left side. So let's start with our orange crossbar layer. Slide right on our black rectangle, slide right on our orange rectangle, and slide right on our white rectangle. And then click this group button to group them together. Now, if you click on this group layer, you can slide to the left and hit duplicate, and it will give you a whole new group. Grab your arrow tool, make sure snapping's turned on, and we will just move this to the other side. And then with snapping turned on, you should get some blue lines that show that the top and bottom of them are lined up with each other. So use those to kind of help center it with each other from top to bottom. And then you just need to pay attention to the amount of space on the left and right side here. Make sure that looks pretty even. And then we are good to go for that. So now we can make our spiderwebs on the right side. So we'll go to our layer menu. Let's minimize this group that we just moved. That is the left window. So then this bottom group is our right window. We'll add a layer right above the black rectangle layer, so it should automatically set itself to a clipping mask below our orange crossbars. And we are going to grab the white color, the second one on the top row. We'll use the same monoline brush, but we'll drop our size back down to like 10%. Okay, and for our spiderweb, we are just going to pick an imaginary point in the corner here. I'll just say right where my orange and white rectangle meet each other. I'm going to start there. I'm going to draw a line going this way, hold it down until it turns perfectly smooth. I'll start at that same point, draw another line next to it, hold it down until it turns perfectly smooth, kind of reach that same like point if there were to be like a circle drawn here. Okay, we'll do maybe another one that we can see on this side. But then I don't know if I have room for one down here on the right side. So maybe just 3 across, maybe 4, whatever works for you, but just kind of space them evenly and kind of reach that same point or close to it. Okay, then we'll make the web pieces in between. So I'm going to pretend that there is a line right here. I'm going to start down on it a little bit, and I'm going to make a curved line meeting up with this line. Hold it down until it turns perfectly smooth. I'll start at that same point, make another curved line, hold it down until it turns perfectly smooth, and then I'm just kind of hitting that same point on the next line. Click the Edit Arc button at the top if you need to adjust it at all. So yeah, it meets up kind of just straight across from it. Nice curved line. Do that again for our next one. And again, we'll just kind of pretend that there's another one next to this. So I'll just start a line there and hold it down. Okay, then we'll go down a little bit and start again. So I'll just pretend that there's like a line right here. Make a smaller curved line, hold it down. Smaller curved line, hold it down. Hold it down. And then if you have room that's going off the edge here, go ahead and pretend to draw a line there. And then I think I might end it there. I could make another layer inside. Yeah, maybe we'll make one more. So make another one inside if you have room for it. But if not, go ahead and just stick with the 2 sets of curved lines. But yeah, so I can't really see anything right here. But then I'll pretend that there's one right here, really small one. Another really small one to kind of finish it off. Okay, then we're going to draw another bigger one in the opposite corner. So I'm just going to start again, same point, maybe like where my white and orange rectangles meet. Start there, draw a nice like long line, hold it down, pick any point, kind of make a few other ones to go with it, however many you can fit that you can see. Kind of just always starting at that same point and again kind of ending like where it would kind of, you could draw a circle around them. So maybe we'll do one more here, like so, maybe make it a little longer. Okay, so I'm just going to start kind of down from this point, draw a curved line going off the screen this way, hold it down, draw the next one, hold it down, next one, that one didn't get quite a good curve, do a little better there. And again off the side over here. Okay, then we'll go in and do that again. So I'll maybe start like right here. We'll do another one for sure. Might be our last one. We'll see. Pretty small. But again, I feel like I can probably get one more in, so I'm just going to start like right here, do some really small ones for what I can see. Okay, so then those are our two spider webs over on the right window there. So that completes our right window. So now that that's all done, as long as you don't want to make any other adjustments to them, you can go to your layer menu. We can click on this group and we can just click on the top part of it and click flatten. And then this is what we are left with. So now we'll go back and find our other group, open that up on the left side, find our black rectangle again, add a new layer above it so it turns itself into a clipping mask, and we're below our orange crossbars. We're going to stick on our same white color here, same monoline brush at 10%, and we're going to draw a little ghost over here. So I'm going to draw his head kind of up in this top right section so that we can draw some eyes on him. So I'm just going to draw a nice circle to start, hold it down until it turns perfectly smooth, touch your finger on the screen to make it a perfect circle. Click the circle button at the top if you need to adjust it at all. I'm just going to move mine up a little bit higher. Okay, then from there, off the left side here, kind of like this top left corner almost, we're going to have them kind of slanted this way. So like this top left side, I'm going to come off of there, kind of round down into like a little tail. And then from the right side, we're just going to do like one kind of curved line to meet up with that tail. Fill both of those shapes in, make any other adjustments. You can kind of smooth things out. Like this right side here looks kind of weird. I'm going to kind of smooth that out a little bit better where they come together. You can also move him around still. He's on his own layer, so I might move him around just a little bit further. But that looks good to start. Then we'll draw some arms on him. So just down here kind of, I'm going to make some little just pointy arms. So like two kind of curved lines coming off of him there. Two curved lines coming off of him here. Fill those in. Okay, and then I might move him again, just so he's like a little bit more centered, but we do want to see his face. So, we'll kind of move him there for now. Okay, and then once we're happy with how he's looking, we will just go to our layer menu and add a new layer for his eyes until so we can kind of move them around if we need to. So on our layer menu, let's just add a new layer right above our ghost layer. Grab our black color, the second one on the last row of the color palette, and same monoline brush. And we will just kind of zoom in here, and I'm just going to make his eyes like up here. So I'll make like one good oval, hold it down. It looks crazy. It looks like a cyclops. So we'll just click this Edit Ellipse button, make it a little smaller. I'll move it to the left just a little bit so it's slightly hidden behind this bar is fine. And then we'll make another oval next to it. It's kind of a slightly different like shape and size maybe, so it's like a little bit bigger. I think that looks kind of fun. Okay, and then we'll also add a mouth right below this, so just kind of a little circle and fill that in. It can be kind of oval also, but either way. So you can do just the eyes or with the mouth. I kind of like it either way. And then with your arrow tool, if you need to move the face around at all or resize it, you can do that since it's on its own layer. I'm just going to have mine kind of be right up in the top right corner here, like so. And then once you're done with that and you like how that looks, we are done with our ghost. So then we can go to our layer menu, we can snap all of these layers together or just flatten our group. So again, at the top where the group is, click on it and click flatten. And then we have our 2 separate windows complete. Okay, next up we will add the candy shop sign on our orange section here. So to do that, we'll go to our layer menu, we'll add a new layer right above our orange layer. So find that on your layer menu, add a layer right above it. We are first going to start with another rectangle. So let's grab our white color, the second one on the top row. Selection tool with rectangle and color fill turned on. We will draw just a good little size rectangle here in the center. Pretty thick from top to bottom, so I'll move it around a little bit, but you know, nothing too huge, something maybe like this. Grab your arrow tool and you can adjust the size of it if you need to, and then center it on our center yellow line and then kind of center it from top to bottom on this orange rectangle. It might give you this blue horizontal kind of snap line to show that it's centered, but if not, just kind of eyeball it. Okay, and then we are again going to add the circles on the side like we did with this boo sign so that it kind of makes it a little fancier. So, on the same layer on our layer menu, click on it and turn on drawing assist so that we can use symmetry again. Grab our pen tool on the monoline brush, same 10% is fine. Same white color, let's draw a nice circle on the side again. Hold it down until it turns perfectly smooth and then touch your finger on the screen to make it a perfect circle. Set the size about like so. Click the circle button at the top to adjust it so we can move it around. I might just set it about to where like my 2 blue vertical dots are like on the edge of the rectangle, so it's kind of like a half circle showing. So if you need to adjust the size of the circle at all, you can either redraw it or you can adjust it, but you just need to make sure to touch in between 2 of the blue dots. Don't touch on one, it will stretch it out into an ellipse. So if you need to resize it, just click on the in between 2 of them and you can resize it that way. But yeah, pretty big. There's just a little bit of like a lip on top and bottom. And then go ahead and fill that in. So now we have a nice sign like this. Okay, now we'll add the words candy shop to it. So to do so, we'll go to our gear icon. Under add, click add text. It'll automatically add itself to a new layer. I always just have to click the arrow tool and move it down, kind of place it on our rectangle here. It's potentially white, so you can't see it yet, but that's okay. So just kind of bring it down into your picture. If you tap on it, you should be able to double tap to select it again. Or if that's not working, just go to your layer menu and on this new text layer, just click on it and click edit text. Then you should be able to double tap to select it. Let's first set the color to our black color, the second one on the bottom row. And then we will bring up our keyboard. Okay, and we will type all in caps, so I'll double tap this to turn caps lock on. Candy shop. Okay, extend your rectangle if you need to, if it's not all fitting on one line. And then we'll triple tap it to select the whole text, so now we can change the font. So let's click this font button here to open up our library, and we will select the Bell Mist font, which is a standard Procreate font. Very pretty, nice little swooshes, kind of works good for our picture here. And then we can adjust the size and stuff a little bit. So I might decrease my size a little bit to like 40-ish points. Might increase the tracking a teeny bit to like 3 to 5%, nothing crazy, if at all. And then I'll just grab my arrow tool and drag it down here and place it on the sign. You can even adjust it further here just with your arrow tool. That's fine too. And then let's go ahead and center it on our center yellow line and then just kind of try to center it from top to bottom on the sign. So like my box goes pretty far below my letters, so I don't want to center the box on my rectangle because then my letters will be really up high. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it and move them down a little further. So that is it for our sign there. Okay, we just have 2 more steps. We are going to make the candy corn piece for our roof, and then we are going to add our polka dots to the orange and white sections. And then that is it for our picture today. So we're almost done. Let's go ahead and make our piece of candy corn now. So we'll go to our layer menu. We'll add a new layer to the very top of our layer menu. Click on it and turn on Drawing Assist so that we can use Symmetry again. Let's grab our white color, the second one on the top row. Same monoline brush at 10%. Okay, and I'm just going to zoom in on the top here. We're going to draw it vertical, and then we'll rotate it into position. So to first draw it, let's just start on our symmetry line right at the top. We'll kind of draw it over the roof here because we'll again rotate it and it'll be shorter. So we'll just start kind of right here. Draw a little circle. Hold it down until it turns perfectly smooth. Touch your finger on the screen to make it a perfect circle. Just a nice small circle to start. It kind of overlaps a little bit, so technically we have 2 circles. So if you need to, you can click this circle button at the top and you can kind of move them closer together so that it looks more like one circle. Okay, then we're going to go down and to the right a little bit with like a pretty short angle here. So not like 45 degrees like way out here, but just kind of down quite a bit to the right, just a little bit. And we'll draw another circle. Hold it down, touch your finger to the screen, like so. Again, click the circle button at the top if you need to move it around. So again, kind of make it so it's like we're building a triangle and we want it to be pretty skinny. Okay, then we'll grab our pen tool again and we're just going to connect our circles now with straight lines. So on the right side here, I'll start kind of on the top right corner of this circle. Draw a nice straight line to the corner of this circle, hold it down until it turns perfectly straight, and then click this line button at the top to adjust it. So we just want to adjust it so they kind of, so it's kind of like a seamless transition from line to circle. We have no like sticky outy parts like that or anything, or like real sticky inny parts like that. So just a nice kind of smooth transition, as good as you can get. Then across the bottom, this one will be easier. We'll just start directly at the bottom of this circle. Draw all the way across till we hit the middle, hold it down till it turns perfectly straight, and then touch your finger on the screen to make it a perfectly horizontal line. Click the line button at the top now to adjust it, so just bring it up or down to kind of, again, seamlessly transition our 2 circles. Then we'll fill in all of our pieces like so. And this is the start of our candy corn shape. So now we are going to just recolor it. So I'm just going to go to my layer menu, click on this layer, turn on alpha lock. So the tip of it's going to be white, and then it's going to be orange and then yellow. So let's do orange next. So let's grab our orange color, this first one on this last row. And then a little ways down, we're just going to start outside of our shape, draw a nice horizontal line through the middle, hold it down, touch your finger to the screen to make it perfectly horizontal. Now let's just go ahead and fill in below it. Make sure to cover up any like ghosty lines that you might have. Okay, then we'll grab our yellow color, the first one on the second row, to make the bottom section. So just a little, so good like ways up from the bottom. Draw another horizontal line with this yellow color, hold it down, touch your finger to the screen to make it perfectly horizontal. If you need to, you can click the line button to kind of adjust it. And then fill in below this. Make sure not to overfill like mine did. If yours does overfill, just undo it and then drag and drop to fill the color in. Hold your pen down on the screen and slide the threshold to the left. You might even have to do it 2 times. 2 or more times to get it all the way down so that you only fill in that bottom section. Okay, and then this is our piece of candy corn. So now I will grab my arrow tool on uniform. I will first rotate it to the right until this like right side, what was the right side is now our bottom, and it's gonna like line up right here. I will move it below this black piece, but we wanted to draw it above it first so that we could see it all, but we'll move it behind the black piece so it kind of cuts it off there, but just get it pretty close to like being horizontal there. Resize it a little if you need to. I might make mine a little bit bigger, and then it'll place there. So I will place it there, then I will go to my layer menu, drag this candy corn layer below my black roof layer, so it should be right above your window layers. Okay, with that done, before we make our polka dots, the last thing I want to do is just move everything down a little bit. So it's a little closer, everything's like closer to the top than to the bottom, but otherwise it looks great. So I'm just going to go to my layer menu. We're going to select every single layer. So top layer, slide right on every single layer below it until you have all of them selected. Grab your arrow tool and just drag it straight down on our vertical yellow line so it's a little bit more centered on our picture. That is just if you need to. You might not need to do that, but I definitely did. So lastly, our polka dots. So let's first do the ones on the ground. So our white rectangle. So find our white rectangle layer, should be at the very top. Add a layer right above it. Click on it and set it to a clipping mask. Grab our black color, the second one on the bottom row, and grab your special brush, the one that you should have downloaded wherever you saved it. Find that. It should be the dots pattern brush. I have it set to 100%. Okay, and then what we're going to do is if you start drawing, so we're down here, if you start drawing, you'll see it makes like a very grid like polka dot pattern. But we want them to be like the more angled polka dots. So we're just going to angle our canvas like roughly 45 degrees. So we're at an angle like this. Then we're going to draw all over the bottom layer here to get a nice polka dot pattern, like so. If you need to, you can grab your arrow tool and you can rotate it even further to get a like better pattern. But that's totally up to you. Otherwise, I'm sure it looks great as it was. Okay, then we'll do the same thing for the orange section here, but we're going to make them a little bit bigger. So to do that, we'll just go to our orange layer here, add a new layer right above it, click on it and set it to a clipping mask. Same thing, same brush, same size. And again, we'll angle it. We'll cover this whole thing. Okay. Nice and smooth. I didn't pick my brush up at all. And then we'll go to our arrow tool. Again, rotate it a little bit if you need to adjust like your polka dot pattern. And then we are going to, but most importantly, to make them a little bit bigger, we're going to grab our arrow tool, zoom out a good amount so that you can just on uniform drag this size up quite a bit to get a bigger pattern, as big or as small as you would like it to be. So I'm going to set mine quite a bit bigger, like so. And then that is it for our drawing today. So I hope you had fun. I hope that you liked the way that yours turned out. If you want to see more tutorials from me in the future, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Also, don't forget to check out my Patreon if you want extra tutorials, which I have linked in the description below. If you would like to share your drawing on Instagram, I would love to see it, so go ahead and post it and then tag me so that I can check it out. And while you're there, go ahead and give me a follow so that you can see what I'm working on next. Thanks for watching!